I think she belongs on television. I also think Nene belongs on television. I think they're both really entertaining. But when you get back in that position, you cannot fumble the bag.
Virtual reality. Hi, I'm Danny Murphy.
I'm Evan Real.
And Evan, how excited are you that we are back in the Garden State with Real Housewives of New Jersey coming back the beginning of May? I cannot wait.
Yes, I'm so freaking excited. I feel like it's been way too long. We still have 2 months to wait, though. I hope that these 2 months fly by because that trailer was absolutely insane. So I can't wait for this season. But let's unpack a few of the things that we noticed in this trailer. What was your biggest takeaway?
Well, I mean, as you remember also from when we talked to these ladies at BravoCon, Giudice was being mentioned left and right. And now, as Lady Gaga would say Giudice, Margaret Joseph says Giudice about Jackie Giudice Goldschneider.
I'm being friends with whoever I want to be friends with, and I don't care.
This is so comical to me right now.
I was theorizing. I remember us talking about this after this whole Giudice situation came up in our chats on the BravoCon red carpet with Jersey ladies, and I was like, "Who is Giudice?" And I assumed that because Dolores told us that Marge is the one who said Giudice, and then like obviously Marge and Jackie are no longer friends. So I was like, Jackie's got to be the Giudice, and it looks like she's playing the part very well. She got so much screen time in this trailer, which I'm excited to see Jackie back in the fold, back in the mix, and creating lots of drama. Our real Jackie is delivering because she has switched teams, but she has proudly said, this is the team that I've always belonged on. So I'm happy that she has found herself on the Teresa side of the couch.
Who says you can't go home? Yeah, she's on that side of the couch. Well, and also because there is room on that side of the couch now because both the Staten Island ladies, they are really, because Jackie's from Staten Island, Danielle also from Staten Island, Cabral, and she and Jennifer Aiden really, the back and forth, I mean, it was teased for a few months about some things that they get into, but in this trailer, they really keep it heated.
What's going on with you and me, just out of curiosity?
That is nobody I want to be friends with. I'm not looking her way again.
Yeah, well, it is interesting. We do know that they got into some sort of like altercation while filming happened, but we only see what I believe is probably the lead up to that sort of physical altercation that paused filming momentarily for the ladies. And they're arguing at some backyard barbecue looking event. So yeah, the girls,
They always are in New Jersey. Everyone's always fighting in a backyard barbecue.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, Danielle was also fighting in a backyard barbecue, like the finale for was the finale? I don't know. You're right. There's always a backyard barbecue happening. And for that one, it looked like most of the cast was present, certainly with like Danielle Cabral and Jen Aiden being in the same vicinity, because Jackie not only switched couches, but Danielle Cabral switched couches too. So she's on the Fuda and Melissa side and Marge side of things. But it looked like everyone kind of got together for that event. It's still unclear if Melissa and Teresa were together, but from what we know, Melissa and Teresa didn't spend too much time together in front of the cameras while cameras were rolling for season.
You know what made me emotional? Because obviously they have realized that it's like they are, thank God they found the good and goodbye type of situation, but that they're both going through sending a kid to school.
I can't believe you're leaving me. Hi, Delaware. I brought my tissues. Don't cry. Going to college in 3 days.
I'm proud of you, Gabriella.
I'm gonna miss you.
And like, it could be the moment where they like could be like bonding so much more, but I know even attempting to do that would not work out well. But if everybody thinking, oh, is Teresa not getting heated at all? John Fuda's doing his best to bring the table flip out.
That's the thing. Like, I wonder when Rachel Fuda was going through the audition process, how much casting directors like leaned into the magic that is John Fuda, because he is out here accusing Teresa of being the poster child for mortgage fraud, and then Teresa's like, no, that's my husband.
I did love that.
She had a quick little comeback. Or my ex-husband.
I did love that.
But it seems like her current husband is apparently putting her in financial ruin. I think that Danielle Cabral says she's distraught at home. Things aren't easy at home.
Teresa is distraught because in the house, there is not a lot of calm.
Every time I talk to her, her stomach is in knots.
She's not doing great.
So I guess like Danielle was friends with Teresa for at least a little bit to sort of get that tea and share it with the rest of the class. So Teresa's apparently distraught, according to Danielle. And then according to Marge, Louis has a piss all her money away. And then we see this tense moment between Louis and Teresa and a producer. And Louis like, I want to make it better. Teresa's like, you can't make it better. And then Teresa's like, I don't want to be talking about this. So a breakage of the fourth wall, which you know we freaking love.
Love so much. And I do love Teresa was not just mentioned in this trailer this week. She also came up in the Beverly Hills Part 2 reunion when they re-brought up that Kyle doesn't look at paperwork that Mo gives her. And Andy was like, you know, my good friend Teresa, right? Because we do know that was not one of her best habits in the past. Camp was involved. But what did you think about the Beverly Hills Part 2 reunion? I feel like it was keeping the same heat as Part 1 a little bit. Erica got in a hot seat, kind of, and also everyone actually shared the hot seat, I would say.
Yeah, I think
Sutton had the most.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Sutton was definitely my winner of Part 2 of the reunion. Just like the exchange between her and Kyle was so funny. Like, I love the ooh and the ooh.
You came in the season just to come after me. What? I did what?
In that instance, Kyle, oh my God, her like, ooh, and then Erica was just like laughing her head off, and that just made me laugh. And I also think that Sutton was like low-key laughing to herself too. I think she was having a fun, but then when Kyle wanted to bring up the cashmere line and the horse, and then Sutton's like, don't talk about my horse.
Well, I'm sorry, maybe just buying a horse and your cashmere line and, you know, isn't enough. So you want to talk about me instead? I don't know what to tell you.
On my horse now?
I was just like, oh my God, this is like so, it was just so funny. It was so good. It was so lighthearted, which felt, I mean, lighthearted for me, a viewer. I don't know how lighthearted it was for Sutton, whose horse came under fire. But I will say, and I want to get your take on this, you know, Kyle was saying, like, I've put so much of my life out there. Sutton, you want me to spill everything. Sutton, you haven't really put much of your life out there. We just know that you bought a horse and you got a dating coach and you came out with a cashmere line. But I feel like, especially this season, Sutton's progression into revealing more about her personal life, I feel like she's moving at a good pace.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's always a thing where it's just like, they all know when there's like messy divorces situations. Like, you can't show everything. Like, you know, there's like different rules and regulations, like by law that goes on. It's like how Lala can't have Ocean on Vanderpump Rules. It's like Sutton can't go through all that. But also if Sutton was getting divorced currently, she really would be talking about all of it, but she's not. Like, that's all in the past. So she's bringing up everything going on in her life. It's just that Kyle has a little bit more happening at home, which is unfortunate for Kyle, but it's why I think she feels that way.
Right. And I feel like Sutton is also a bit in a pickle in this like certain instance, because when she first joined the series, her husband didn't allow her kids to be on camera, and they were 18 at the time. And so now we're finally seeing her daughter on camera, who can make her own choice whether she wants to appear on the show or not. And I feel like there was a lot of rules surrounding the post-divorce agreement about what could be shown when Sutton joined the franchise, what she could talk about, who she could film with, etc., as it pertained to her family. And that's the reason why she didn't even get a diamond on her first season. She was supposed to, but then she ended up just being relegated to a friend of role. So I feel like Sutton, who's only been part of the group for like 3 or 4 years now, like it's unraveling at this pace just because like of circumstances where like Kyle's had 13 or 14 years. Yeah. Kyle was like, yeah, my like kids learned how to drive on the show. It's like, well, yeah, because like your kid like that, it's been more than a decade. I mean, I love her children, and I love that they have all learned how to drive on the show.
But also she's like, I had a second birthday party and a kid drove. I'm like, was that I think the fans maybe fast forwarded. Like, she's like, I show all. I'm like, you didn't have to show that. I think we are good on that.
I mean, like, yeah, like I have loved seeing every one of Porsha's birthday parties. I truly have, but I don't know. The comparison is so interesting. Also, like I feel like there's been like the theme of comparison in Housewives reunions. Also, like not to bring it back to Miami, but when Guerdy and Lisa were going about like my divorce versus my cancer battle, that was like, oh my God.
It's like, can anybody read a room? One of my favorite moments of Sutton, when she called Dorit carcass. She's like, I don't know what you do, carcass, and how many carcasses are on the floor.
Your friend.
I think you have a drinking
Thank
problem.
you.
I don't.
Then I
but I
don't-
don't know. I don't know.
Well, I don't know
have-
if you have a drinking problem either. Carcass out. I mean, I don't know how many carcasses are on the floor every night.
That was another good moment. That was really quick on Sutton's part. I do feel like Dorit took it in stride. I feel like, you know, we were saying everyone got a fair share in the hot seat. I do feel like Dorit might have been in the hot seat a little bit longer than others. I just felt like the line of questioning, and I'm not saying that the line of questioning was unfair, but I do feel like the questions were tougher for Dorit. I feel like Andy was like really like laying down the gavel and just like
He goes in on her a little bit, yeah.
he does go in on her, and then he yawns when she's explaining. I mean, I know she's long-winded, but like you're asking all these questions, she's thinking of all her answers and how she would like to express herself.
And she's Google translating in her head. She's like, I'm trying to know, do I answer in French, Italian? She's a woman of the world, as we know.
Exactly. And I don't think that Andy was considering that. And I cannot believe. Obviously I remember that Andy yawned in Dorit's face. I did not know that it was like 3 consecutive years. Now.
I know. Well, you know who I feel never would make Andy yawn? Claudia Jordan. I mean, Deal or No Deal Island, the TGIF queen. She even told me, I don't want to be shady. It just happens naturally. She had some things to say about Porsha Williams because I saw that she, you know, heard about the divorce going on. So I asked her and she answered. Porsha's divorce.
Oh yeah.
You had a lot of thoughts and theories.
Well, I mean, I called a lot of this stuff a long time ago, and people think it's hating. It's like I'm just very perceptive, and I, you know, for my job, like what you have to do, we have to read people's body language. Like, are you telling me the truth? I think there's more to this. Let me go dig deeper. So a lot of times I call things out and I see things a lot sooner, and people think it's like a negative or you're just like. You're jealous, you're obsessed. It's not the case. I think she's a hilarious person. I'm glad she's coming back to Housewives. Oh my God. I think she belongs on television. I also think Nene belongs on television. I think they're both really entertaining. But when you get back in that position, you cannot fumble the bag. You have to like think about like how you're treating people, like how you're coming off. You know, you gotta be nice to your glam team. You gotta be nice to your producers. You can't get where your head is bigger than the show. And I think, and that's just not reserved for them. That's for a lot of people in the business. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to spend 12 hours on set with someone unless it's gonna be a fun experience.
Yeah.
And those, I'm glad that Porsha's coming back to House. I think she's great television.
Well, because you even were saying on TGIF that you're like, none of this is about Porsha. What I'm saying, it's about Simon. Because when she left, I think you even were like, you're fumbling, girl. Like, why are you doing this? Like, stick with your money.
Yeah, she had Dish Nation, she had Housewives, and she was a fan favorite. So you cannot quit your job for some dude until you know for real where that money's really coming from. Because anyone can set up a DBA and be like, I have a petroleum company. Do you really? Sir, where is said oil and gas? Where is it? And I think Porsha's the rich one of them two. I really do. Sorry, Simon. I just heard that's not even your real last name. It's not even Gabadia. That's some tea for you. Go to investigate that, page 6. But it's not hate towards Porsha. No. I don't blame her for thinking she found her Prince Charming. We all want that. And she looked really happy. I ain't gonna lie, she looked really happy.
And can I just say, Danny, how jealous I am that you got to spend time with Claudia Jordan. I have consistently said since she was booted off of Atlanta, I believe it was season 7, she is the most underrated one season of all time. She was so good on that show. I don't understand why she wasn't asked back, but I'm glad that she's like part of the NBC Universal family. Again, I'm hoping that with this cast shakeup and her heated feelings, thoughts, and opinions about Porsha, maybe the girl can get a peach again. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, there is a chance that she is the winner of the $200 million you get on Deal or No Deal Island, which I thought that was fake. And it's sweet. When I said, what do you want to spend with that? She wants to help her with her friend's medical bills. So I'm like, okay, Claudia, you are a shady saint.
Mother Teresa, Claudia, Mother Teresa Jordan.
I love it, but I know I want her back in Atlanta just because she just adds so much fun to it. Kind of in the same way I need Guerdy to remain on Miami for forever because you know we love Guerdy.
Oh yes, we chatted with. Well, unfortunately, Danny cannot make it to the Zoom with Guerdy, but we still Guerdified to the best of our abilities. As you know, the Miami reunion, this 3-parter is coming to a close, and from what we've seen on the show, we might also think that Guerdy and Lars's friendship is coming to a close. But Guerdy shared her thoughts on all the drama that's gone down this season about Larsa and teased that they might be able to be friends in the future.
That's not computing for me, but
Yeah, so take a listen and see what you guys think.
At the end of the day, truly, truly, do I think that she maliciously ran away and said, I'm going to make a plan to blow up her spot and to really with her cancer? I don't think so. And so that's what I have to hold on to for hope with our friendship. And so you'll see from part 3 how we try to resolve that, you know, what she does, you know, and say to me about that situation. So we get into more of the details of it, and you'll have to see how we try to potentially come to a resolution at the reunion.
So it seems like there maybe is hope to repair the friendship on your end. You seem like in a pretty like even-keeled place.
I just can't hold negativity in me anymore. So I'm not saying that everything's perfect. I'm not saying that we made up at the reunion at all. You have to watch to see that. I'm just saying that right now, today, I have to compartmentalize that situation because it's so far behind me and I'm healthy. So the way I preach to Lisa, I got to preach to myself. I'm healthy, I'm alive, so I gotta make it count and not hold my calendar and dates and times and hold it for the next, you know, battle. I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover, okay? I plan parties for a living. This is what I do, I celebrate life and I wanna continue to do so.
Do you know who was kind of exposed at the reunion? Was Marcus backstage talking about y'all can't even do the dishes at their house. That was, it was not nice, but I'm still trying to like understand what he was trying to say. What is your interpretation of his insult? What was your reaction when you heard it?
If the benchmark for us to even step into his house is to do the dishes, that says a lot, for example, right? So it's kind of like, you're not good enough to even do the dishes. So listen, my mother was a nurse. My father drove taxis. I am proud of the blue collar, Ross was a firefighter. Kudos to the people who work hard every single day and work for their money. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So, you know what? He's a lucky person that he had a nice lifestyle from, you know, birth. And some people didn't. I didn't. I worked my ass off since I was 13 years old. And I am proud sitting in my seat and earning my spot as a Real Housewives of Miami. And all the coins that I made is on my back. So that's all I have to say about that.
Julia was telling me that after she saw that moment, it really made her think and feel differently about Marcus. Has your opinion changed about him? Because he was so like nice and gregarious and pleasant with the women throughout the season. And then so to see him kind of flip a switch in a sense, very jarring as a viewer.
Yeah, well, listen, people say things that they may not mean when they're heated. People may say some things that they don't mean when they're a little tipsy. So, backstage, obviously, they're chilling, they're hanging out, they were drinking Larsa's, what is it? Tequila. So, maybe he was just like a little loose and just had a loose lip moment. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, which I ask people to give me just in case, I'm reading it wrong. But it was not a nice thing to say, obviously. And I think an apology would be in order in the future.
Yeah. Now I do need to get your reaction to their brief breakup. That really gave the whole Bravo community whiplash. They weren't together, then they were back together, then she's wearing a white dress and flashing a ring for the paparazzi. It was a lot to process.
Yes.
Any more thoughts on the saga that played out?
I don't know, my friend. I was actually doing a post for Pfizer on breast cancer awareness during Super Bowl, during that halftime show. So I was busy on my social media doing my paid brand partnership, honey. Coins.
And that's that on that. Do you think, though, that they have what it takes to last? Speaking from someone who has been with their high school sweetheart, like literally 30, you know what I mean? Like you know what it takes.
Yes. I mean, listen, it's a hard out here for a pimp, it looks like, right? So that's what they say. I feel bad for people who are now dating in this world with Instagram and everyone's trying to be, like all over the place. I'm so thankful for Russell, who hates social media. Thank you. And just humble and just so low key and simple. We're simple people. That's the way I like it. And you know what? It's going to take a lot to keep that same level of intimacy, of commitment for 30 years, and Larsa knows what it takes because she was married for a long time. So I think that she has the experience to help him out in creating this balanced relationship, hopefully. So yeah, best of luck to them.